I think so much about life, I almost forget to live it. I analyze love so deeply, I almost forget to give it. And while it's not wrong to analyze these patterns I exhibit, at some point I gotta say, child, just get on with it. Why learn the rules if you never play the game? Awareness and action are far from the same. A year from now you'll wish you had started today. So set aside that playbook and get out there and play. I wrote that poem several years ago when I was in a phase of a lot of self-help, personal growth, personal development, introspection and reflection, and all of those things are fabulous and wonderful and incredibly important. And at some point, we have to take what we're learning and what we're analyzing about ourselves and do something with it. My name is Trisha Veldman. I am the founder of Powerful and Poised. I am a speech and confidence coach as well as a spoken word poet. Now I must say I am recovering from a little illness, and so my voice sounds off today, so please forgive the sound of my voice or just enjoy something different. I almost didn't do a video because of it, and then I was like, you know what, it's kind of fun to have a video where my voice is different. So here you are. Now, a lot of people I know really struggle with what that poem just touched on, and I continue to battle that as well, where some of us, myself included, love living in our minds, and we have so many ideas for things, and it's so fun to analyze and to do like your astrology, for example, or your Myers-Briggs personality test, and to learn all these things about yourself and why you are the way you are. But at some point, I think we'll still feel unfulfilled or like there's something more to do if we don't actually implement the things that we're learning and integrate what we're learning about ourselves into our daily lives and how that can help us accomplish our goals. And it's so helpful to understand why, for example, we may be feeling socially anxious or not super confident, or why we have public speaking anxiety, which is something I talk about a lot on this channel. And knowing why you have it won't necessarily change the way you feel or change your behavior. Awareness is the first step, so definitely start there, because often when you are just aware of something, that can shift a lot. And a lot of times people get frustrated, myself included, when you think, well, I know why that's happening. I see the pattern. I know what I'm doing, but I can't seem to shift it or change the pattern. So in today's video, what I want to talk about is a very simple strategy to help get into that action state instead of the analysis paralysis state. In a recent video that I recorded, I talked about how the antidote for anxiety is taking action. So when you're feeling this spiral and this loop of, oh my gosh, I'm a waste of space, or what do I do, or I'm wasting time, just do something. If you're worrying about something, do something about the problem, or if you can't do anything about the problem, do something else. I also talk a lot about how to use your creative energy when you're stressing or you're worried. Channel that energy into something creative. But today, what I want to share is a very practical tool that you can use, and you can start it today. So what inspired me to talk about this today is yesterday and today I have been a little under the weather, and so today especially I have a lot of free time. Yesterday I had some clients cancel last minute, and I was like, oh gosh, what do I do? So I went to the gym, I cleaned my house, like I did stuff, but it still didn't feel like productive stuff because I feel like I'm not working towards my goals around my creative pursuits and things like that, like my YouTube and things like that. And then today, same thing. I had a lot of free time this morning. I had a friend cancel a meeting, and then I showed up for a client call, and then she never came. So I ended up with all this free time on my hands, and I ended up feeling like I wasted it because, I mean, it wasn't wasted. I ended up booking a flight. I went to the bank. Like, I did stuff I needed to do, but it wasn't stuff that is fueling my dreams and my passions in the way that I can give back to the world. So anyway, what snapped me out of that funk today was I started editing YouTube shorts, which I love to do, and I've really fallen back on, I had a very consistent, for like 2 years, I was posting YouTube shorts every single day. And then my mom passed away and I just got derailed, and I haven't gotten back on that train yet, even though it's been a month and a half or so. And so I started editing those, and just the feeling of being productive inspired me to want to do more. And something that I've tried over the years that has been very helpful, and the strategy and the tip I want to recommend to everyone today, is have a list physically written down somewhere, whether that's a note on your phone, a document on your computer, or a piece of paper on your desk, which is what I use. And on that list, have tasks or activities that you can actually work on when you're in those moments of, oh my gosh, I have so much free time and I don't know what to do with it. Now, I know for a lot of people listening, you might be thinking, like, I don't have a lot of free time. I'm like so strapped for time and I would want free time. But then what happens for those people, what happens for me when I'm super duper busy, go, and then, oh my gosh, there's a window of free time. I'm like, what do? I don't know how to use this wisely. So what I recommend is write a list of things that you can do that will either feel good, snap you out of your funk, or contribute to a larger project. And I know I've shared this strategy in videos before, but today is my invitation to actually sit down and write your list. So for me, for example, I might work on a poem, like revisit a poem that I'd started and not finished. I have an ongoing project of a book that I will be publishing soon. And so it's like, okay, do the cover for that. And this is a list that you can update every week if you want to, but I recommend having one master list so that if you're feeling like, well, I don't have anything big this week, what can I do? Then I'll look and see, for example, that I want to do a spoken word album. And I haven't worked on that. And so when I'm like, oh my gosh, I have 2 hours of free time, what do? I can open my document about my spoken word album and put some creative energy into that. And sometimes it feels scattered because it's like I'm not working on one thing consistently. And I know that this strategy may not work for everybody, because some people really need to focus on one task and get it done, see it to completion before they can focus on something else. But if you're anything like me, sometimes the big projects, it's like, well, I'm not in the mood to do that right now, or I don't have the bandwidth to do that right now, or if I do that right now, it's not going to come out well. So what's something else I can do that feels productive, that feels inspiring, that will still contribute to something else? And so when I do that, I find that, 3 months from now, I might open that document and see, oh, I've done a lot more work on this spoken word album than I thought. Like, I already have a list curated of poems that I want to do, which I forgot I did because I only pull that out every so often. And then one day I can say, like, nope, this is top of the list. But I recommended this for my dad as well, because he has been retired for a year and a half. And for the past year and a half, he's been taking care of my mom, basically spending all of his time with her. And now that she's passed away, he doesn't have anything to do. And so I recommended, since he's not yet willing to get a part-time job or volunteer, he wants to do those things, he just hasn't done them yet. And so what I recommended is that he write down a list. So when he sits there and is like, what do I do today? It's like, oh, well, I could clean the garage, or, oh, I can mow the lawn, or, oh, I can build this thing, or he likes doing hands-on stuff. He hasn't taken me up on it. He has not written that list, but I think he has some things in mind. But I think physically having the list written down gives a lot of safety. And it helps people feel grounded, helps me feel grounded. Of like, okay, oh my gosh, what do I do? I open this list and boom, oh, I can do that. And it lights me up. So on this list, you want to put a combination of practical, productive things like clean the laundry room, things that you don't think about you don't think about very often but need to get done, and things that are just fun, things that will just make you happy. So like doodle a picture, for example, because you never know what's going to inspire something else. I started doodling yesterday, working on the book cover for my next book, and it was like, oh gosh, this is so fun. I love creating. And that made me very happy. But before I even got to the doodling, which was towards my book cover, I randomly, out of nowhere, started cleaning the room that has my cat's litter box. And I just did like a deep clean of that space, which is not on a list I have anywhere. I never think to do that. I just randomly did it. And then I'm like, okay, it didn't feel productive, but it is productive. It's cleaning. This is my environment. So I think putting a mix of things that are around your home, around your finances. So on my list, it's like read this book about financial stuff because I don't really look at that often. And so just having a list with a mix of things so that when you're in an anxious spiral or you're feeling like you have time on your hands, you don't know what to do with it, you also have that safety, that groundedness of, yes, my anxiety is flaring up right now, but one of these actions is going to help alleviate that anxiety. And then going back to the poem of awareness and action are far from the same, it's applying the things that you're learning into something. So for me, I've done so much consuming of content and material, and I love learning, and I will always love learning, and so I'm going to keep consuming the self-help and all of that. But for me at this point, my list is not so much like listen to a podcast or sometimes read a book, but it's more about the creation and the action and the doing. And I think we'll all go through stages of that. So if you're in a more like consuming state and that's what you need right now, then put like read this book or read this blog or listen to this podcast or watch a YouTube video. If you're like me and you're like, okay, I've read a lot of things and now I need to start actually incorporating them, maybe it's go back and listen to this part of something or read 3 pages and then do the thing. But it's making it a little bit more action oriented in your list. So your practical takeaway from today's video is take out a piece of paper or pull out your phone, the notes app, or pull up a document on your computer and write a list of things you like to do or things you need to do and make it a combination of both so that the next time you're feeling down, the next time you're feeling anxious, the next time you just have an extra hour on your hands, you're like, what do I do? Write it down. To give you some ideas and inspiration, it might be take a walk. It might be turn on your favorite song and start dancing. It might be do some squats. It might be bake cookies that you love or bake something with the ingredients you have in your home. It might be reach out to a friend. It might be clean the closet. It might be organize the bathroom drawer. It might be write a poem. It might be read 3 pages from this book that I love. It might be stop and say a prayer. It might be do a meditation. It can be anything, but have, I'd say 10 to 20 things on the list that can be something that you just go to. For me, it's like edit YouTube shorts because that to me feels productive. It's not particularly fun. It's a little bit tedious, but it also really inspires me to keep sharing more. So you want to have things on this list that will inspire you to use your gifts and to share more. So for some of you watching, I know that you commenting on my videos is you giving back, and it makes me feel so happy and excited. But my feelings aside, watch YouTube videos and comment on them, something on your list. I actually have social media engagement on my list as well because it's something I don't do a lot of, but I need to. Like if I want my channel to reach people, I need to engage with other channels more. And I scroll on Instagram plenty. I could start leaving comments a little bit more often, or I could go on LinkedIn more often. So anyway, there are millions of things that we can do, but to help it feel less overwhelming and a little less sporadic of like, oh my gosh, there's a million things I could do with my time. What do I do? Write down a solid list of 10 to 20 that you can pull out in those moments of anxiety or those moments when you're just sad and you're like, I'm sad. I don't know what to do with myself, but I don't want to numb myself out watching TV, which sometimes TV is great. So I'm not saying never do that, but having some options is really helpful so that we don't just do something that makes us feel empty or makes us feel like we wasted time. That's about all my voice can handle today. Thank you so much for listening, and leave a comment and let me know what are some of the top things on your list and maybe things that you love to do that you haven't done in years. Put those on your list too. Thank you, and stay tuned for my next book that will be coming out soon, and watch this next video about how to alleviate anxiety with action.